We were just talking beforehand. You had an experience recently where you were an extra on The Walking Dead, so that's
Yes.
pretty cool.
Yes.
It's been forever since I seen you. I think middle school, all the way back in what, probably 12 years ago now, 12, 13 years ago. But how did you end up on The Walking Dead? Because that's a big jump to go from middle school PE class, and next thing I hear, you're running around with Glenn and all those guys on The Walking Dead. How'd that happen?
I mean, that would have been cool, but it didn't happen. It was interesting. It was last year around the summertime, and I was pursuing acting like I normally do, going through the acting gigs and stuff like that. I didn't actually find it online. My aunt found it, and I think she was going into I want to say a grocery store or maybe somewhere, but she saw a flyer,
Hmm.
and it had the information, and they were like email with this, and this, and this, and she sent me that. So I followed the email and sent them an email with all my information. And they got back to me and they were like, hey, yeah, we want you to be on it. And I was there for, I think, 7 months. So I was going to set like on and off for like the past like 6 or 7 months from like July to like, I want to say October. So it
That's a
was,
while.
yeah, it was a lot of fun. Um, and yeah, I mean, it was interesting. It was very interesting how it happened because I didn't see it on any of the things that I was looking for. My aunt found it and was like, "Hey, try this out." So I did. It
Well,
was
there you
cool.
go. So you got to just pursue those things sometimes. What was the
Yeah.
set like when you were there? Because obviously you've seen the show before, or at least an episode or two. I think even myself, I don't follow it religiously, but I've seen episodes here and there. What was it like for you to kind of be on set with those guys that you'd seen on TV before and been maybe looked up to in the past, and now you're kind of working with them, maybe not from as closely as you would like, but you're still there, and to interact with the camera crew and the makeup artists and all that. I know for The Walking Dead, it's crazy. They make people look like zombies. Obviously, that's some crazy makeup. What was it like for you to kind of interact with all those people and be around that sort of level, that level of, I don't want to say fame, but like of production, I guess, because it's
Yeah.
a pretty big production that they got going on. What was it like for you?
It was. I wouldn't say it was like overwhelming or anything. I was pretty comfortable, but it was huge. I mean, like the some of the scenes that, like you said, you haven't watched it, but like just knowing some of the scenes with the zombies and the effects that they have. Um, the way they did it in that show, it was pretty real. It was pretty real, and the people that were playing those zombie roles, man, they looked pretty legit. It wasn't anything like fancy. Anything. It was like syrup or some sort of jelly. But you go up to them and you start talking to them, they're like, "Hey, oh, hey, Tim, how you doing?" So it was pretty cool. Working with some of the like main actors, of course, we weren't working that close or anything like that, but it was pretty cool. One of the guys, one of the lead actors, Nico Tortorella, I recognized him from another show, and he was walking past me on the stairs, I think, and I was like, "Hey, are you the guy from?" It's called The Following with Kevin Bacon, and I
Hmm.
love that show. It was a great show. And I was like, "Oh, you the guy from The Following?" And I was like, "I love your work," da 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 da. He was in a rush, so I let him go. He's like, "Appreciate it, thank you." And I told myself, if I get another chance to talk to him, right, just to ask a question, because they're busy, they're working. I don't want to, cause an inconvenience to him. But I was like, if
Sure.
I get another chance where he's, taking a break or something, I'm gonna go up to him and ask him a question.
Hmm.
So he was on the stairs again, sitting down. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go talk to him. I'm just gonna ask him a question, just one question, just to see. All right. So I went up to him, I sat down. I was like, hey, I don't want to, take up your time. I know you're busy, but if I wanted to become an actor like you, what would I do? And the filming took place in Virginia, so it was in Richmond. And he asked me where I was living at the time, and I was like, well, I was in Northern Virginia. That's where I
Hmm.
lived. And he was like, you need to move. I was like, oh, okay. It was the cliche answer, but I was like, oh, where should I go? And he's like, you need to go to New York or LA. I was like, okay, not Vegas, because I have family in Vegas. My original plan, and I already did it, was to move to Vegas and use my family to kind of like bounce around and do my acting things. So I was like,
Hmm.
what about Vegas? He's like, no, not Vegas, New York or LA. And I was going to ask him a second question, but I was like, you know what? He's busy. I'm just going to, hey, you know what? Appreciate it. And I went back up the stairs, and it was cool. Actually, for the rest of the time I was there, he recognized me. He was like, hey, buddy. Every time he saw me, hey, buddy, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? It was cool. But yeah, it was very interesting. I wouldn't say it was overwhelming or anything like that. I've been on set before, but it was very professional, very, very professional.
Good to
So
hear. Well, I know you took his advice and you are
yeah.
now in LA. Um, so what was that obviously Northern Virginia is kind of its own little bubble world, but going from there to LA, and I know you moved around a lot when you were little, but what's it like? What's it like out there from the standpoint of you're pursuing acting gigs and different things? Are how do you go about kind of doing that, and what about LA and New York sort of make the difference there for somebody who's aspiring to be an actor?
Well, one, it's the plethora of opportunities. Even though COVID's happening and all that stuff, there are still more opportunities here in LA versus where I was at, or Las Vegas, any other place that really compares to LA. They have lower opportunities. So my thought process was I wanted to get to LA because I wanted to submit as many things as I can. So that way, if I'm submitting for 50 different things and at least one of them sticks, that's all I need. I just need one.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if I can increase my opportunity to do what I need to do, that's where I wanted to go. So that's why I was pushing towards LA. But yeah, it's a different feeling. For me, I enjoy just like driving into the city, especially at nighttime. You see the lights, and it's like, for me at least, I get a very genuine joy of feel. I'm just like, wow, I'm here. This is the lion's den, right? It's not gonna be easy just to pop in and be like, all right, I'm an actor now, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm here. I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to, grind my way to the top of whatever I have to do. And every time I enter the city, it's like I just feel good. I feel really, really good. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, definitely. So you're a city guy then. You like it. You
Yeah,
like it
yeah.
out
I mean,
there.
it's not even that, because like I don't think I would have the same feeling in New York, because New York is more like theater based, and I want to be more film. I've talked to a bunch of people about how important is theater versus film and
Mm-hmm.
going into film and everything like that. But LA itself, it's like this is where I can make my dreams come true, and that's why I get that feeling. I don't think I would get that feeling if I go to like Little Rock, Arkansas, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
I mean, it's a city, or St. Louis. It's a great city, but I don't think I would be able to do what I want there. So I wouldn't get the same feeling. But LA is like, this is where I can make it happen. So that's why I get that feeling.
for sure. So what got you? So obviously we know you were on The Walking Dead, and so what got you into that in the first place? Like, was it a spark that kind of like one day you were like, you know what, I want to be an actor, or was it something that you've been pursuing for a while? Or so I know we were talking before about the move to LA, and especially acting is not really a stable for income wise. So you must
Yeah.
have been preparing for some time before you went out there. So kind of how did you come to the conclusion that this is what you wanted to be doing?
I think it was in 2015. I don't know exactly when, but in 2015, my dad lived in LA. So
Mm-hmm.
he lives in Vegas now, but he lived in LA. I went to visit for a summer. I was there for 6 weeks, and I did a couple of acting things. It wasn't anything big, just like a couple of extras and some short films and stuff like that. But it was a lot of fun. The people you meet, it's just a lot of fun. And is passion, that genuine joy, that genuine feeling of, wow, this is really fun, and I want to do this forever. I decided that this was the thing that I could do for free 24/7. I'd be fine.
Mm-hmm.
If all my necessities were taken care of and I didn't have to worry about paying, I would do it for free forever, because
Mm-hmm.
it's that enjoyable to me. So in 2015, I was still in college. I was pursuing a degree in information technology, and it's a practical way to go. I was like, I like computers, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's cool and stuff like that. I want to learn how they work and everything like that. So 2015, I decided I'm going to finish my degree, got out of school, and then I went to work for the government for a couple years, like 2.5 years. And then in January of this year, um, I was dating someone, and she broke up with me. So I was like, okay, well, I was a contractor. My contract ends in September. So what I'm going to do from here on out is just save as much money as I can so I can make that move.
Mm-hmm.
There's no point in waiting anymore. There's no point in like just staying there, because the only reason I was there was for her. And it's nothing bad against her. We had a great time and stuff like that. She's a great person. We're still good friends. But I had a different goal that I wanted to achieve.
Sure.
And when it happened, I was like, all right, this is my sign or whatever. I'm just gonna save as much money as I can. I don't have anything holding me back. I'm gonna go once I get towards the end of, September, once the end of my contract. So my contract
Mm-hmm.
ended, and I saved a good amount of money, and then I
Mm-hmm.
moved out here, and I'm doing really well. I'm living with my sister. I don't have to pay rent, and I'm using YouTube, because I've actually been building YouTube for the past 2.5 years as well. I've been using the YouTube income that I get to sustain myself for a while,
Mm-hmm.
just to mitigate as much expenses that I have for the month and stuff like that. So as long as I can stretch that out, I can do this for quite some time before I actually have to find another job. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's yeah. So I mean, acting came out of nowhere. It was just a lot of fun. I started doing it, and then this year is when I decided I was going to make a move to pursue it.
That's awesome.